The consistently divisive, some people believe Paddy Pimbletts will soon rise to the lightweight division's top. In contrast, others consider him a UFC hype job and criticize his antics and dietary habits. This could be the case for the fighter, Paddy Pimbletts. It's time to take a detailed look at Paddy Pimbletts' career, which has been packed with flying submissions and ruthless finishes. Will he be the next UFC champ? The Rise of Paddy Pimblett. Paddy, as he is more commonly known, was born to Patrick in January 1995. The residents of the suburb of Liverpool, known as Scousers, got their name from the dish known as Lobster House, which is popular among local sailors. This helps to explain the culinary preferences of the fighters. But it wasn't until he saw the brutal war of Diego Sanchez and Clay Guida in 2009 that the 14-year-old found his calling exactly after first stepping into the cage. The city is also famous for its rowdy football fans, who instilled their short street code into young Pimblet. Pimblet was only 15 years old when she had a dozen performances as an amateur over the course of 15 months. Despite the fact that Paddy's pay-free run through local promotions did not last for very long, he's still able to establish himself as an aggressive wrestler with decent ground and pound. This led him earning the nickname the Baddie. However, the future black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu shone the brightest during grappling exchanges, where he subdued his opponents and drowned them in submission in Fuse deep waters. Paddy, who had a buzz cut at the time, was a frequent visitor to the cage and had a record of 7-2 by the time 2012 came to close. He was ready to make the transition to the professional mixed martial arts. This skinny kid from Liverpool used to weigh 135 when he was younger. Pimblett's first opponent, a 17-year-old, was unable to last even 2 minutes of the match. The initial exchange resulted in a clinch, and subsequent takedown led to a quick technical knockout. Early life and career. At the OMMAC 15 tournament in 2012, Pimblet made his competitive debut against Nathan Thomas. At the age of 17, he earned a perfect record of 3 wins and 0 losses by forcing a submission from the more seasoned Thomas in the first round of their fight and signing with Cage Warriors the following year. In 2016, he won the Cage Warriors Featherweight Championship by defeating Johnny Franchi at the Echo Arena in Liverpool. He then defended his title once again against Julian Erosa, and he won a somewhat controversial unanimous decision to keep his title. Pimblett's fight against Nad Narimani in April 2017 resulted in a loss. As a result, he had to move up to the lightweight division following victory. Following a victory, he competed in the Cage Warriors Lightweight Championship, but he was ultimately unsuccessful and lost to Sren Bach via unanimous decision. Pimblet eventually signed a contract with the Ultimate Fighting Championship after accumulating 2 more victories within the organization. Pimblet had turned down 2 deals with the UFC in the past because he was presented with more lucrative opportunities from Cage Warriors. Paddy Pimblet Cage Warriors career. At Cage Warriors event number 56, Pimblet competed for the first time in the organization. His opponent was Florian Claren. He won with a unanimous decision, but in the next fight, he was defeated by Cameron Else, who submitted him using a technical knockout. Paddy bounced back from the defeat and proceeded to win his next 7 fights in a row. As a direct result of this, Pimblet was granted the opportunity to challenge for the unclaimed Cage Warriors Featherweight Championship. At CW 78, he competed against Johnny Franchi for the title of CW Featherweight Champion. He earned the victory by knocking out Johnny Franchi in the first round with punches, which earned him the TKO victory. After successful defending his title against Juliana Rosa at Cage Warriors Unplugged, he ultimately fell short against Nad Narimani at CWFC and was defeated by a unanimous decision there. The most famous fight at Cage Warriors: Paddy Pimblet versus Decky Dalton. Both of the combatants exuded an air of self-assurance. They demonstrated a deft command of their respective fighting styles during the first round. During the first round of the fight, Decky created an opening with a kick and landed on Paddy's left leg. Paddy responded with a high kick, but Decky quickly closed the round with another kick.
That can give you actually a bit of an advantage.
Paddy made the conscious decision to exert his superiority over Decky as the round was beginning to heat up. He was going to backhold Decky so that he could get a light tap, but Decky managed to get that stuck in Paddy's hands, which rendered Decky unable to tap. Paddy began punching Decky in the head with combos as Decky attempted to escape Paddy's grasp. The referee stopped the round after Decky suffered a technical knockout loss as a result of Paddy's punches. Decky's opponent was Paddy Punches.
He doesn't need a crowd.
Ultimate Fighting Championship career. Paddy Pimblet versus Luigi Vendramini. Pimblet fought Luigi Vendramini for the first time on September 4th, 2021 at UFC Fight Night 191. It was Pimblet's debut on the promotion world. At first, Paddy Pimblet ran into some difficulties. During fights, Luigi was known for taking advantage of his natural tendency to hold his chin high. Paddy Pimblet took a left hook to the head from the Brazilian fighter, who caught him multiple times while he was on his feet. Despite this, the 26-year-old displayed the valor of a warrior, persevered in the face of challenges, and made a strong comeback. As the match went on, Luigi became more forceful and aggressive with his strikes. This, unfortunately for him, turned out to be his downfall in the end. Paddy began to get the better of him by countering with his right hand. At one point, the fighter from Liverpool knocked out his opponent with a swift right hand and appeared to make a clean connection. He knocked out Luigi with a flurry of punches, the culmination of which was a massive right hand that put an end to the fight in the first round. Pimblet was able to win the fight by knocking out his opponent in the first round. After this fight, he was awarded a bonus for having the night's best performance. In October of 2021, Pimblet signed a sponsorship agreement with Barstool Sports that was worth more than $1 million. Paddy Pimblet versus Rodrigo Vargas. At UFC Fight Night 204, which took place on March 19, 2022, Pimblet competed against Rodrigo Vargas. He took the victory via submission in the first round of the fight. As a result of the victory, he was given the award of Performance of the Night for the second time in a row. Paddy would later disclose that he received $12,000 to show and the same amount to win.
Finish. And what happened?
Paddy Pimblet versus Jordan Levitt. The following fight for Pimblet was against Jordan Levitt, which took place on July 23, 2022 at UFC Fight Night. As both men enter the cage, Paddy takes a center out of the gate. Paddy gets Jordan to the fence around 1 and swings big, but Jordan ducks under onto the legs. Jordan has the clinch while Paddy stuffs. He gets a brief takedown, but Paddy immediately gets up. On the other hand, Jordan was still in the clinch and had Paddy against the fence. That night, both fighters appeared competitive and equally dominant. Paddy decided to take down Jordan as round 2 began, so he began attempting some special moves on Jordan. Jordan is in a bad situation after Paddy traps an arm under a body triangle. He could only defend his neck with one arm, and Paddy was underneath. Paddy Pimblet submits Jordan via rear naked choke at 2 minutes and 46 seconds of round 2. He won the fight by forcing his opponent to submit with a rear naked choke in the second round. Because of the victory, he was given an award for Performance of the Night. Paddy Pimblet versus Jared Gordon. On December 10, 2022, Pimblet competed against Jared Gordon at UFC 282. He prevailed in the fight by way of unanimous decision. The decision was criticized as many individuals, including fighters, fans, and media members, were on the opinion that Gordon had actually prevailed in the bout. Gordon received positive marks from 23 of 24 of the media outlets that covered the fight. The Ultimate Fighting Championship is in a precarious position as a result of the departure of many of its most prominent fighters from the British Isle. Following 3 octagon appearances, Paddy Pimblet has the potential to become a game changer by filling the gap. The buzz surrounding him is comparable to that which exceeded during the early days of Conor McGregor. The flamboyant blonde from Liverpool pours his heart out, finishes rivals, and is far from shy on the mic. Knocked out, the 27-year-old still has plenty of time to capitalize on the hype in the sport's most dangerous division, despite the fact that it won't be easy to do so.